Here's something I really want you to hear. If your offers have felt harder to sell lately, that is not a sign that your business is broken or that you need to throw it all out and start over. The stuff that's actually working right now is so much simpler than we make it. And there are 5 shifts that I'm seeing in offers that are actually selling in 2026, and I'm getting into all of them in today's episode. Welcome to the Soulful Sales Show, where we talk about believing in the value of your offers, getting them in front of your right people, and selling more of what you do in your unique way. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Sales Show. So a little while ago, I gave a presentation at the Soulful Sales Summit called 5 Elements of Offers That Sell. And I think it's a really, really important one. So I wanted to bring it here to the podcast as a proper standalone episode for anyone who missed it or wants to revisit it. And the good news is that you don't need to burn it all down and start everything over again. So let's start with the context that we are working with when it comes to selling our offers in 2026. There are a few shifts that have been happening online in recent times and that are affecting how our offers sell and how selling feels. The first one, of course, AI. AI means that there is more content out there than ever. It is feeling noisier than ever. AI has made it super easy to produce content, which means that information is everywhere. And when anyone can churn out information, not to mention some completely fake information and even fake videos, people aren't trusting or valuing that information quite as much. So people are naturally becoming more discerning about what they're buying. Buyers are getting slower to decide. I don't necessarily mean that they take longer, but they probably do need more information and more trust in your offer than they would have needed before. Research shows that old marketing principle, you may have heard this before, that people need to see an offer 7 times before they buy it. That is long gone. It is way more than that these days, given the way that people browse online and all the noise that there is out there. Plus, of course, with economic concerns, people are thinking more carefully about where they spend their money, which means trust matters more for that reason as well. Now, I know a lot of what I'm saying here can feel kind of exhausting, especially if you are a sensitive human, but I honestly don't think it is doom and gloom. And I genuinely believe that heart-led business owners have a big advantage, which I will get to later. And none of this, by the way, means that your offers are wrong or means that your business is broken or means that you need to overhaul everything. You really don't. You also don't need to be showing up more and being everywhere. And thank goodness, because I don't have the energy for that either. In fact, a lot of what is working in 2026 is actually simpler and more human than what we might think. So what does this mean for our offers? It's basically about how we present what we are offering to our people. And there are 5 key elements that I see working right now. So number 1 is a clear transformation. This is actually something that has always been important, but is more important now than ever before, having that clear transformation. So your buyers want to know how your offer can help them very specifically and how it can help them in a timely way right now. So that means that successful offers have a clear outcome, tangible wins, or even just a tangible win, and immediate benefits. This is especially true for a low ticket offer that someone wants to buy, implement, and get results out of very quickly. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to promise everything. In fact, it kind of means the opposite. You don't have to make claims that people are going to have huge success overnight. We're getting away from that kind of marketing. You are not convincing anyone that your offer is going to lead to all-encompassing transformation. You are showing them a small and tangible outcome that is doable for them over the course of your offer. So for example, one of my offers is about creating a strategic freebie that's designed to naturally lead to paid sales of your offer and getting it all done across 5 days in just 30 minutes a day. I feel super confident sharing that very tangible outcome of that offer because I'm not promising that they're going to create their whole business ecosystem, or that they're going to make all the sales and get thousands of subscribers. But I am confident that they're going to create that freebie over the course of that bootcamp, right? So when you are clear about this really tangible outcome of your offer in the way that I am about that offer, it really helps you to show up and sell your offer more confidently as well. You're not persuading them that it does everything. You're not trying to do that. You're sharing the one thing that it gets to do for them. And then they get to decide whether that one thing is something that they can benefit from or not. So element number 2 of offers that are selling in 2026, tools over theory. So information is everywhere right now, as I talked about in the kind of AI era. And people are also busy and overwhelmed with this information, which means that people value thoughtful guidance and tools more than ever. Tools to help them actually use the information. I know for a fact that people are not looking for 100 hours of training. This used to be a selling point that people would have on their sales pages very frequently. And in fact, I still see it now. I don't know about you, but when you see a sales page that says it has like 100 hours of training or 50 hours of training, whatever, is that a selling point to you? Because it is absolutely not for me, because it does not feel like something I can use. It just feels too much. Really, really important to know that they can actually get through the information, take action on the information, use the information, which goes back to step 1, because that is what will show to them that the transformation on offer is actually possible for them. So the benefit for us when we give people tools to help them use our offers is that our offers actually can be simpler to create. We have better boundaries around what's included in the offer because we only include what actually helps people to take action or to actually get the result that we're wanting them to get. And we can include more actionable elements to make it more achievable. So for example, I have been adding custom GPTs and AI support to most of my offers, because it's one thing watching a training on something like building an evergreen funnel, which is something that's included in my Soulful Sales Society membership. It's quite another thing to get the information and then actually use it by having a conversation with a custom GPT that is trained on my framework that helps them to quickly make decisions and actually set up the funnel. Huge difference between having a funnel actually set up versus learning about what a funnel is and learning about the elements of a funnel and doing nothing with it, right? I also think it's really important to be sensitive to people's time and energy. Like I said, if I see that something takes 100 hours, that is a negative selling point for me. It is not doable for me. Plus, I want offers to be easy to start, which means they are clearly laid out and the first step is very obvious or given to me as soon as I sign up for something. Now, of course, AI tools aren't the only way you can help people actually use the offer. You could also include planners, worksheets, templates, whatever it is that will help you turn knowledge into action, which actually brings me to the next key element of a successful offer, which is implementation. It's kind of very tied with the last point on tools. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this with every single offer, but it makes a big difference when you do, because implementation goes beyond pure information and makes it valuable beyond what people could easily just get from Googling or AI or whatever. You could offer accountability containers. These can work for both low and high ticket offers. I have done this for low ticket offers. I am not saying to offer one-to-one support in your low ticket offers. I'm definitely not saying that. But again, with my strategic freebie bootcamp, I made the finish line very clear. They had to set up their freebie. I gave them an incentive to get it done, and that was that I would share their freebie with my audience when they did it. I also made myself available for Q&A, but I didn't offer any kind of one-to-one support. So it was an offer where I could actually serve a lot of people and they could still experience accountability. So it was win-win. Now, of course, this also works with higher ticket offers where you can offer more direct support and feedback to your clients. It can also work well with quick win challenges that are designed to give people a quick win, tangible outcome, and then invite them into a higher priced offer because it helps to build trust and gives them proof that things will work as well. People want to use the offers that they buy. We've all been guilty of buying offers and not ending up using them. We do really want to use them, so let's make it more doable for our people to use them. This also makes it easier for us to sell them. Not only does it make the offers more desirable because, people actually want to use them and they see that it would be easier to use them, but as heart-led business owners, it helps us to believe that we can do this. We can really help people, and that's how we make a difference in people's lives, which is what we all want to do and get well paid for it at the same time. And I will say that with my Soulful Sales Society membership, there are many different elements in the membership, and I always found it hard to sell and launch the membership and invite people in by talking about all the different things that you could possibly get in there. When I shifted my marketing focus to come join the membership now, do a specific selling challenge with me next week. So, for example, set up your evergreen funnel next week, get it done in a week. There's an incentive to do it. It became so much easier to sell that offer when I put the focus on a very specific implementation challenge. Now, the next element of offers that are selling right now is human connection, which I think is the superpower for heart-led business owners. So, as I've shared many times, AI has made it incredibly easy to create content and information, which means the internet is now full of polished advice and prompts and strategies, and some of them feel more accurate than others. So it makes sense that people have become more sensitive to what feels real and what feels genuinely helpful and what doesn't, and maybe are not as quick to trust things as they may have been in the past. Building that trust is so much easier when people know there is a thoughtful, real human behind the offer. Someone who has been where they are, who has felt what they feel, someone who has actually done the work and been on the journey, and someone who is not perfect. People want to buy from real people, and that truly does include your imperfections. Sharing examples and stories from your journey, sharing your wobbles, your wins, your challenges is so, so powerful. I personally basically built my entire business on doing this, and it hasn't changed. The way that I present my offers may have changed over time, but that part stays the same and is one of my superpowers. I still get nervous showing up and doing things like this, hosting summits. I still get overwhelmed in my business, and I share that stuff. I share some of those messy parts with my audience, and I know that some people want to work with me because of that stuff, because it makes it feel possible for them. If I can do it and they feel like they have some stuff in common with me, then that means they can do it too. This human connection is something that AI cannot replicate. It's so, so important. Human connection can also come in the form of building a community around your offer. Now, you definitely don't need to have a community for every offer, and communities are definitely better suited to some business owners than others. But if you have a space where people can connect with each other, not just with you, and where they can be open with each other and have these shared experiences, that adds huge value to your offers as well. And then finally, element number 5 is more of a bigger picture point, but it's really, really important. You will usually sell more offers and feel much calmer about selling when you have a connected ecosystem of offers. Now, I want to be clear here that I don't mean that you need to have loads and loads of different offers. Some people do, but that's not what I'm talking about. What matters is knowing that each offer has a specific job. So especially your lower ticket offers, because if you are going to make enough sales to make the income you want in your business of lower ticket offers, you need extremely large volume. So it's really, really powerful to make things more sustainable and easier for you to design your lower ticket offers with a clear outcome, with an element of real human connection, even if that's just you sharing your personal story. I'm not saying you have to offer one-to-one support or anything like that. And a tangible action in mind so that people who go through the offer, get a quick win, see that your work helps them, and trust you. And that builds momentum to work with you in deeper ways and work with you in some of your other offers over time. That's where you get to invite them into other ways of working with you. That's where the business becomes more sustainable to make more sales over time from the same people in different levels of offers. So it could be that you have a membership, could be you have another program, or group coaching or one-to-one. The key is being really clear on where each offer starts and ends, because when you are clear on that, you get to deliver the win as promised, and then you get to invite them into a next step that will help them to continue their progress in another offer. It's not pushy selling because people are actually trusting you from real experiences. They get a real result with you. They don't need convincing, but you do need to I'm not saying don't be obvious about your selling. You do need to make it clear how they can work with you in other ways. But this is the power of knowing the clear outcome that your lower ticket offers have when you can invite them to work with you in other ways. So much more sustainable when you have multiple connected ways to make more money and more sales. So I've shared with you the 5 key elements of offers that are selling in 2026, and hopefully all of this has shown you that you don't need to start over and create a bunch of new offers from scratch. Small tweaks can make a really big difference. So my challenge to you is to choose one of these tweaks to try today. So just clarifying the transformation more, simplifying the structure of your offer, maybe even removing something from an offer to keep it more boundaried around that transformation. You could add tools or implementation support, so maybe an accountability challenge, a benefit of getting it done, an AI tool or something like that, or bringing more of you into the offer, sharing more of your examples, your personal experiences, a few of the feelings around it, something like that. And personally for me, this is stuff that I layer on all the time. So if I'm relaunching an offer, I will use it as an opportunity to see where I can improve it in one of these ways. And for offers that are ongoing, like my Soulful Sales Society membership, I layer in tools over time. So for example, I recently took a bunch of my trainings, which were kind of informational, and turned them into actionable custom GPTs. So people can actually chat with AI to come up with every element of their tripwire offer or plan out their whole funnel. And members absolutely love that. And what I also want to share is another key takeaway is that offers work best when they're part of an ecosystem. And what you really want is to know that you have a path when people come in through a free offer, when they take a low ticket offer with you or take a next step with you and get a clear win, where you want to direct them to next. So they are the 5 elements. And my challenge to you is to pick just one and try it this week, just one thing. And if you want support actually building this, building your sales ecosystem that keeps selling even when you can't, then that is exactly what we do inside the Soulful Sales Society. Come and try it with a free trial at ruthpoundwhite.com/SSS, and you're going to get in time for our mid-year sales refresh, get it done week. I'll also pop a couple of other ways to work with me in the show notes, including my brand new Aligned AI Lab offer, which is a prime example of an offer that is working in 2026. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. I hope that this was helpful and reassuring, and I would love to hear which tweak you chose. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Soulful Sales. If you have a moment to rate and review, know that it really does make a difference. And if you would like to carry on the conversation, then you can connect with me in the free community at ruthpoundwhite.com/community, or my personal favorite, join me inside the Soulful Sales Society membership at ruthpoundwhite.com/membership. And keep doing what you're doing because your work really does matter.